Welcome to Our Inner Wisdom. I'm your host, Charlie Lundholm. We are in some intense times right now, and we could all use help finding some balance and clarity. To help with that, I'll be sharing channeled messages, interviews, and discussions on a variety of topics designed to help you feel more grounded, calm, and connected to your source. I thank you so much for being here today. Now let's go tap into our inner wisdom. Today is Cosmic Cocktails Day, where I'm sitting down with my very good friend Cathy with a nice glass of bourbon, and we are going to be discussing the subject of unconditional love. So my question is, how do you have unconditional love for somebody and let them deal with their own stuff?
Honestly, in my opinion, it's about not getting in their way with your opinion. Unconditional love means listening to what they're saying to you and not judging it as right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's about supporting their journey to a conclusion and not being attached to whatever that conclusion is.
The whatever it may be.
Yes. Whether you agree with it or not is immaterial.
It's hard though, if you see somebody going down a path that, and again, this is being judgmental, but you think, okay, you're going down this path and it's not what I would want for you. See, there it goes. It goes back to me. I don't want this for you. I don't want you to suffer. I. So it reminds me of what I was told a bazillion years ago from a healer of respecting everybody's journey, whatever that may look like. And that little part that she added to the end made such an impact on me because it was no longer something that I viewed for somebody. It wasn't something that I thought someone's journey should look like. It was like respect their journey, whatever it looks like, whatever it may be, because it's not my journey, it's their journey. But we always want to go in there and make it better. We want to fix things. I want to make your life better because I know better for you. What a crock. I don't know anything that's better for you.
And what you just said is so important. How many times do we want to throw our veil over what someone else says as more important, more valid, more period, more.
Right.
That, and again, anytime there's an I associated with what you're saying, you have to respect, forgive me, the I. It pulls it away from their journey.
Right.
And unconditional love to me means allowing people to support people in whatever their understanding of their journey is in that moment. Because their understanding is what's most important in the equation.
Sure.
It's not what I understand. I'm looking at it through the eyes of my karma, through the eyes of my understanding of phenomena. What's important is what their karmic understanding of their phenomena is. And and at the very basic bottom line is that I can't view that. I can't understand that because I'm not them. So to be truly unconditional is to be accepting of their vision of whatever they're experiencing. And if they're asking for your opinion, to give it honestly.
Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame. You ask, I'm going to tell you.
Well, and how juicy is that? Yeah, Yet
What an
you
invitation.
right.
Right.
But and then you have to the challenge for us, the observer, is not to get attached to
Ooh.
whatever outcome that they choose. Because
Yeah.
if you understand that people are doing the best that they can with the information that they have, where's there to go from that?
Mm, that's a good thing to remember because it's so easy to go into judgment
Right.
about, well, I think you should be. I know you would be happier, healthier, better off if you only did what I what I say. God.
And how arrogant is that? Because again,
Ego loves it.
well,
I, 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 I.
thank you. How many eyes are there in a conversation that you're having with yourself?
Yeah. And it's difficult when it's a loved one
Mhm.
um, who you see as, um, going down a path that I view as not to their highest good. And the other aspect of that is if you're the one that has to deal with the fallout.
Whoa. That's almost a whole other discussion
Yeah,
about
but it's part
attachment.
of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's definitely part of it. If this person that you love is going down this pathway and you're trying to have conditional love and be accepting and knowing that this is their journey, blah, blah, blah. And yet when they crash and burn, you are the one in line to be picking up the pieces.
Mm,
Mm,
that's important, and I don't think a lot of people talk about that. I don't think a lot of forgive me, self-help gurus, well, at least that I've read, have talked a lot about the how do you release the angst around allowing people, loved ones, their process, even though you know it's going to hurt them. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure that there are books out there that talk to excess about that. I just haven't read them. Just saying. Uh, uh,
there might be one or two.
yeah. I'm. However, it's an important reminder, nonetheless, that you cannot be responsible for the choices that your loved ones make
Oh,
in
yeah.
difficult situations. All you can do as a bystander is be present, be available to whatever degree the other individual allows you to be,
Right.
and then love them, no matter what choice they make ultimately, whether they follow your sage wisdom or they don't. And that's where, when they don't, is where the challenge arises as far as your own personal journey
Right.
into attachment is involved, because then our egos get involved.
Sure.
That's where it gets harder.
And I think it all boils down to that simple phrase of honor someone's path, no matter what it looks like.
Yep.
Even if it means you are the one who chooses to pick up the pieces, you don't have to pick up the pieces.
Oh, honey, good point.
You can walk
Great
away.
point.
You can say no. So it's not like someone
Yeah.
has a gun to your head going, you are the one that has to pick up the pieces for their choices. We always have a choice.
Oh, huge.
So if I have a loved one who is going down a pathway that I view as maybe not to their highest good, I can bring my concerns to their attention and then step back and go, okay, well, at least I have voiced my concerns and honor their journey, whatever it may look like. And if it goes in the direction that I think it will, because there's a really good chance it's not going to go that way, um, at that point, then I get to choose what I do. And, that's actually has kind of an energy about it that's very relieving of stress because it's not like automatically you're the one that's going to have to pick up the pieces. It's like, no. And if that's the place that you're going to, then you're kind of setting that energy up of this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And therefore, I'm going to have to pick up the pieces. But what if you step back and go, I'm going to let this unfold as it is supposed to unfold. And at that moment, I will choose, whatever. If I step in, I don't step in, whatever. Because we don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, honey. I think that is a very powerful way to approach any situation that you have with someone that you maybe fundamentally or architecturally don't agree with.
Hmm.
Because again, just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means they've got a different perspective than you do.
Are you sure about that?
I try to keep the winds of the brain, of the mind open in a sense of just because I can't wrap my head around fill in the blank doesn't make it wrong.
Right.
So, so I look at people and go, educate me, help me understand your point of view. But again, that means you have to be brave enough as an individual to say, help me understand your point of view.
Ooh,
Right.
right.
And not immediately judge it, make it wrong, shut it down, but breathe some air into it and say, I'm not skillful enough to understand what you're saying right now. Help me understand what it is you're saying. So you're inviting them to create clarity, perhaps, around what they're feeling.
Yeah.
Because what I found quite often is a lot of times in a journey that's especially complicated is that people don't understand their journey and they have talking points that are very superficial. No, I don't like that. I'm uncomfortable with that. Well, why are you uncomfortable with that? Well, you're inviting a deeper level of perhaps exploration,
Yeah.
understanding.
Right.
To be truly unconditional is to be, in my very limited understanding, is to be allowing, creating a space for whatever words however you want to phrase this, you are saying it's okay to be on the mental jungle gym with me and figure out what you believe in
Right.
or what you feel. Because I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say, oh no, you are bad or you are wrong. I'm going to say, help me understand your perspective. Help me understand who you are, what you believe in, what you feel.
Yeah.
And in that invitation, quite often you find a different definition for them popping up.
Sure. Yeah. That's actually really beautiful of just asking them, just having a talk with them. Because I think so many times, what's what I've experienced, is when you bring a subject up, it immediately gets shut down because it probably feels like a judgment, even though from my heart, it's coming from a place of, I want you to be okay. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be safe. But the person is, well, I'm assuming, and there you go, assume that they are perceiving it as a judgment, which could be maybe how I am phrasing it, even though I try to be very skillful. Um, However, so taking the time to say, okay, help me understand is, I think that's a beautiful tool. I think that's wonderful to help bring those walls down of, they get put up as soon as someone feels like they're being judged. And we all do that. It's like, what do you mean you think I'm doing something wrong? Blah, I'm putting up a wall. So I like that. I really like that quite a bit. There's a softening to it, of softening of those walls, of that resistance, and that you can have communication. And once there's open, free flowing communication, maybe stuff can get figured out, resolved, or there can at least be some forward momentum instead of just stagnation and shutdown.
Well, I think what you said about, allowing a forward movement is so important, because I think that we are conditioned a lot of times to just shutting things down. I don't agree with you. I'm going to shut you down. And there's a way, once you shut someone down or shut even your own motivation down, that there's a way that you end a conversation, or the possibility of conversation ends. Most of the time, what I find is that, I know from myself, I've stepped on a landmine I didn't know existed, an emotional landmine that becomes mine by the fact that I stepped on it,
Sure.
but not mine by the fact that people don't understand motivation. My motive was never to piss you off, to make you mad, to, however you want to phrase this, to upset you, to fuck with you, to fill in the blank.
Right.
My motivation was just conversation. Simple as that.
Or I see that, you need some help.
Even if I have that kind of wisdom, because a lot of times I feel as though I step on something in a very innocent way, but all of a sudden I'm being reacted to like I had some sort of motive to screw with your mental fill in the blank,
Right.
which was the farthest from my consciousness than I could even state. However, nobody has in that moment, quite often, the clarity, the understanding that, because the person that's being triggered is just angry. The person that accidentally stepped on the landmine is now defensive. Whatever causes someone to be defensive, always want to say, what did I just say that created that defensive space for you? If I have the skillfulness to understand that I just accidentally stepped on a landmine, emotional landmine, can I say to the person, that wasn't my intention? I see that you are triggered. How that wasn't, I wasn't meaning to trigger you. And then can we have a conversation? And understand that sometimes you can't, because a person may be too triggered to have an actual conversation about it. So again, staying in the concept of unconditional love, how can I love you through your drama, and not judge? When I say love you through your drama, sometimes people go, "Oh, I didn't have drama. What do you mean?" Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, you did.
Yes, there's a whole like a whole other landmine around someone's relationship with their own drama that they may or may not know existed.
Yes, and sometimes it takes that landmine for it to just pop open and start bubbling out like nasty volcano.
Right. And then are you, the triggerer, emotionally balanced enough to ride the wave? Can you be unconditional enough to ride the wave without getting your own ego involved? Your own, I didn't do that. I didn't mean that. I didn't. Arr, 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 arr." Just saying.
And realizing, whose shit is it? Is it my shit? Is it their shit?
Right.
Okay, it's their shit. Yes, I had my part in it. However, it's their trauma drama, and they're choosing
Mm,
to hang on to it. They're choosing to deal with it, whatever. And yes, I triggered it. And so now what do I do?
right.
I love that you said, so you stay in that place of unconditional love and go, I love you, even though you are in your fucking spin of drama, trauma, and you may not even know it. And I think the power of the unconditional love is that we can then sit in that place in our heart and say, I love you, even though you are batshit crazy right now. I still love you. And the nice thing is that then we don't go into that place of taking it on. Like it's our fault that we stepped on that landmine. That landmine's sitting out there for someone to trip over. So you just happen to be the lucky gal or guy that stumbled upon it. Boom. And so now what do you do? So I'm going to stay in this place of just having unconditional love for you as you do your spin out, whatever. You got some baggage, and I'm going to just recognize that, realize that it's not my baggage, it's your baggage. Whose shit is it? It's your shit, not my shit. However, I respect your journey, whatever that may be. And if that means you go down this pathway, whatever, but staying in that place of unconditional love allows you to have this open communication. It helps you to have that energy, that vibrational impact of having that love and support for that person. Plus, you don't take it on as your own. And I think that is super important.
Oh, honey, I absolutely agree. Because again, the invitation is always there to not take the easy blank you,
Hmm.
blank you.
What? Blank you.
Exactly. Because that's just easy.
Yes.
What's hard is the unconditional love that says, I'm going to love you in your process. I'm going to allow you your process. I'm not going to judge your process. I'm not going to own any part of this process beyond the trigger.
Yes.
Because I'm the first one to say, oh, stepped on a landmine, didn't know it was there. That is as far as I want to take responsibility for this interaction.
Yeah. Beautiful.
However, what I do beyond the stepping is my responsibility.
Yeah.
Meaning, if I've opened a Pandora's box accidentally, I can say to the person, I'm not skillful enough to process what's happening right now, emotionally, mentally, or to say, and if you are if you are emotionally mature enough to handle what's coming at you without getting nutted up about it or making it about you, then rock on, unconditional love.
You are a master. We bow to
You
you.
are, I am not worthy. You are the master, because sometimes stuff, life always throws shit at you that you are not necessarily prepared for.
Right?
However, that's where the true, I hate to use words like tests allow. However, life's what happens when you're with people. If you want to be in a cave and be by yourself, well, there's not a lot of challenges there beyond what your own mental construct. But if you're going to go out in the world and deal with people and deal with all of their emotional ups and downs, then you're going to deal with their blah blah blah. And you can either judge it or not
Right.
as you're able.
And staying in that place of unconditional love, no matter what.
Unconditional love. What does that mean to you? Not to us. What does that mean to you? How do you embody that? How do you work with that in the world? How do you mentor that every day in your personal practices with relationships?
Yeah. Takes consciousness and choice.
Wow.
Consciousness and choice,
Wow.
which are probably two different subjects for a future cosmic cocktail.
Cosmic cocktail.
Because it's going to take a lot more bourbon to go into those subjects.
Amen. Just saying. I bring my glass up to you right now, every one of you listeners, that if you gleaned anything from our cosmic cocktail, blah, 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 currently, be loving and kind with yourself, with your family, with your relationships.
Yes.
Understand that there's no right, no wrong way to do this.
Yes.
Just stay in your heart. Try to understand your motives.
Yes. And I saw a beautiful quote the other day, which I absolutely loved. It was, love someone just as they are and then watch them blossom.
Brilliant.
How's that for a beautiful ending to our whole discussion on unconditional love? When we just don't try to make someone our vision of how we think they should be, but love them as how they are and then watch them blossom. Love
beautiful.
that. Yeah, beautiful. All right. Thank you so much, Cathy, for joining me on Cosmic Cocktails.
Welcome.
Thank you for listening. For more inspiration or to find out more about my work and upcoming classes, please visit ourinnerwisdom.com. And for beautiful crystals and minerals, please visit our sister site at earthgallery.com. Until next time, keep tapping in to your own inner wisdom.